Alright, here I am driving down the road to Mount Greylock for an early hike. I'm not going to catch the sunrise, but I'll get on the mountain early. It's only 5:45. Sunrise is actually about half an hour from now, but it's already light. Anyway, I thought I'd put a little brief thought out here because I'm starting to wake up and have this realization for some reason. Actually, because somebody I know is having issues with a bully and trying to have a polite discussion with him about some issues, and it didn't really go where it was supposed to. And I realized in conclusion that the way bullies operate is they're used to getting their own way by being belligerent, pushing people around and bullying. And when it comes down to a polite conversation, they're not really looking for peace. They're not really looking for a solution to the problem. They may pretend they are, but in the end, they're really just looking to win the fight and prove they're right, which in my opinion means just confirming their own biases, because they're not open to really listening. They want to maintain power, and they'll do that by just flooding the zone and just yelling and arguing and just being non-stop blithering in support of their own position. So they're interested in control ultimately. And it occurred to me too, there's different things that happen. Like a person that genuinely wants peace will listen more than they'll talk. They're open to figure out where the other person's coming from, and ultimately their goal is to arrive at some kind of peaceful agreement on what's true. Bullies don't care what's true. Truth isn't really their goal. It's to maintain power, and they'll do it by whatever means necessary. So, and an interesting thing too is, I think, well, sometimes they're just out to win the fight, and that means just overcome and overpower the other person to maintain their own power. And winning has different definitions to it, because winning a fight doesn't necessarily mean you're right or you arrived at the truth. Winning in their sense is just staying in power. So if they can overcome you in some way, overwhelm you, flood the zone, keep you from talking, refuse to answer your talking points, keep reaffirming their own biases over and over, same arguments, no real reasoning. They don't want the truth. They'll just reject that and keep coming at you just to supposedly win the fight, but what they're winning is nothing but maintaining power and control, not yielding in any way, where a decent person has a goal of arriving at generally the truth. Like, what's the actual truth? Let's gather the actual facts. Let's discuss them rationally. Let's try to arrive at a solution, and hopefully everybody walks away in agreement on something. So a peacemaking person is going to look for common points of interest or agreement. Now, if you go into an argument with the idea, well, let's drill down and get the truth. Let's see what we can agree on. Talk about what you can agree on, maybe make a list and say, okay, these are points we both agree on, and then here's the ones we're contesting. Well, if one person is reasonable, or preferably both, like in other words, if a person assesses what the needs on each side is and try to arrive at a fair solution that meets everybody's needs, then that's peacemaking. But if anybody's holding out for something that's inherently unjust and unbalanced, and they want more power, or if they feel like they're in a superior position, they don't want to yield up any control to make the thing work, then you're going to have an unbalanced, a one-sided sort of a fight going on, where one side really wants more than 50%, and they're holding out for something that ultimately isn't just or reasonable. Then you're not going to come to an easy solution at all. And the whole might makes right doctrine, like bullies depend on this to get their way. They're not out for fairness. Fairness isn't really in their vocabulary. They don't want that. They would rather win the fight in such a way they end up with the advantage. And it's very hard to achieve any lasting peace that way, because it's like having a pendulum and trying to hold it out to one side. It always wants to swing back to the middle. And if a person is biased in their own favor and they really don't give about the other side, and they just want power, then that's what they're going to do. So those kind of people are the aggressors, the war mongers, war makers, people that really are interested in peace. They talk about peace, but they really just want control. And underlying all of this is a fear that they're going to end up with the short end of the stick. And what ends up happening is they make everybody else get the short end of the stick, and there's always a tension, and there's always this internal resistance, like in any relationship, whether it's national or personal. If it's unbalanced and one person's pushing for more than the fair amount, more than their fair share, or if they feel somehow entitled, or they're manifesting some kind of destiny that gives them an inherent right to take advantage of other people, it's unbalanced, it's wrong. And I don't care what they're hiding behind or what excuse they can make, but trying to maintain an unbalanced relationship in your favor, it's selfishness. And it ultimately creates tension, and no reasonable person is going to want to submit to that and be under somebody else's thumb. At least I'm not. I hate unbalanced, unjust situations, and I don't like, the fact that in this world there's a lot of fear and a lot of people that want to have the advantage and have control over other people, which is sort of the domineering, bullying, predatory mindset that's the root of most problems in this world, the way I see it. Anyway, quick short rant. I'm on the way to Mount Greylock, so I'm just using my phone to record this so that I have a record of it, because sometimes I get thoughts and I don't want to lose them, so that's why I'll just grab the phone and talk to it. But anyway, I hope you get something out of this, and if you have any comments, go ahead and leave them for me. Thanks, have a good day.